Long ago, when these ancient Grecian temples were new, hemp was already old in the service of mankind.
For those who don't know what the legal definition is, according to the United Nations, anything that has 1% tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, or below is considered industrial hemp, which is why these other countries in the world, without any difficulty at all, can grow this product. Hemp is definitely the ugly stepchild of the overall marijuana prohibition, because in most other countries, even though marijuana is not legal, like in Canada, France, China, Russia, hemp is. So other countries long ago made this distinction between industrial hemp and marijuana. So the fact that this government and continued US governments does not make this distinction is one of the great absurdities, one of the great legal sophistries of marijuana prohibition in toto. So unfortunately, the hemp reformers have not been able to divorce the discussion and topic around hemp legalization from the larger, more problematic discussion around medical marijuana legalization and decriminalization issues. Though, when polled and when Americans are surveyed, it's clear that they make a very, very distinct break between marijuana and hemp. As we are now going through another stiff recessionary period in this country and a resurgence in the concern around ecology and conservatism around conserving the environment, the idea that hemp is not more popular today, the idea, just to use a brand name here, that organizations like Greenpeace or Earthshare or the Sierra Club, or go down the list of organizations that purport to be very, very much in favor of enhancing our ecology, they don't engage this issue at all. And that's really regrettable, because we're talking about a plant product that is probably more utilitarian than the soybean. There's 10 to 12,000 industrial applications, other than smoking it in your bong, for marijuana known as industrial hemp. But our government has wrapped the reefer madness up tight into one big package with a big green bow on it. So whether you're sick and dying or sense threatened, the federal government says, no, too effing bad. If you are an adult who pays someone like myself, like a third of your life in taxes to the government, and I want to go home and use cannabis in the privacy of my home, nope, F you, we'll arrest you. And the idea that the American farmer cannot grow this incredibly industrially valuable product. My better half comes from North Dakota. I mean, the idea that we can literally look across this international border and see waves, hectares of hemp modulating in the wind, and the Canadian farmers can grow it and ship it to the United States, where we pay high tariffs and taxes on it, so we can turn it into clothes and backpacks and shorts and lip balms and shampoos. But the idea that the American farmer in North Dakota, in Minnesota, in South Dakota, namely, these are all places that their state legislatures have already said to the federal government, we want to grow hemp. And yet the federal government, the crazy federal government here in DC, doesn't allow them to do so. So unfortunately, there's no easy answers with hemp. In some ways, I'd like to think that someday the legislators will wake up and be at least as prudent as the legislators in Canada, China, and France in allowing the cultivation and sale domestically of hemp in the United States. But I'm afraid that it's likely not going to happen until the total legalization of the plant.